So, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to all in the audience. We are joined today with the team at Collective Finance, where we learn how they have this project. I think it's in the seed sale phase currently, that has asset-backed commodities, where we can earn yield through these different commodities. And I'm just gonna have them explain it fully, but we'll just start off with their introductions. I'll get into some questions to kind of break down the protocol, and then we can get into the community questions. So, yeah, thankful for all the people that submitted those questions. There are quite a few, so appreciate all of that. We do have the giveaway going on, so 25 BUSD to the two best questions. So make sure you have good questions, not just copy and paste questions, because I get a lot of those. So yeah, here we go. Yeah. Who are you guys? Let's start off with that.
Yeah,
Your
absolutely.
background and kind of how you got here.
Yeah, well, I'll say hi real quick first, and then I'll let the other two gents introduce themselves. So, I'm Doc, guys, otherwise known as Brian. A little bit of background about myself. I'm a physician in real life. I'm also an entrepreneur. I have multiple different businesses. One of them multinational. I've been an investor for a long time. I've been in crypto for God, probably since I would say 2015 or so, maybe a little before that, and then DeFi really over the last few years. So I've been a really big angel investor during my time in the DeFi space. And I've got to know our other founders over that time as well. And that's how really we got to start to build Collective Finance. So I'll let the other two say hello as well.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. Hey,
Cool.
everybody. Sorry. Go ahead, Jake.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I am Zach, otherwise known as Cripsum, one of the founders over at Collective. I've been in the space for a few years now. I've been around DeFi and yeah, I'd say about 2.5 years. So, been on a couple different projects. Got to know quite a few people within the space. Here at Collective Finance, we kind of all came together and kind of used our connections to build this protocol. So I'm here to help facilitate in any way I can and help the success of this. As for myself, in real life, I have a couple businesses. One of them is in diesel custom fabrication. Have a shop that's full-fledged running all the time in Montana. So, and then also we have a business that's based around regenerative farming practices, so agriculture consulting, and then also somewhat focuses on renewable energy as well. So that's me in a nutshell.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm Chrome, also known as Monkey, and also known as Jacob. And yeah, I've been a trader,
Good
investor,
name.
and participant in DeFi and crypto for probably close to 2 years now as well. But yeah, I've been always super interested in projects and building and bringing something unique and cool to the space. And so I've been working on stuff for a while, and then yeah, finally got to start to build this new cool protocol with these guys, and super excited. Thanks for hosting us, Jake.
Cool. Yeah, not a problem. And from your white paper, there's 4 people on your team. There's NP is the only one that's not with us today, right?
Yeah, so NP is currently doing he's actually the core founder of Vertec, which is the Balancer V2 style DEX that's currently in launch phase right now. So he's been working super, super hard all day and night to work on that with the devs. So he can't make it right now. So it's just us, but we definitely got this.
And when Chrome says right now, he means literally right now. So it's sort of dropping live as we're talking. So he's got his hands full.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's start with that. Like, you guys are launching through Vertec, and NP is running stuff over there, but he's also a part of your team. How did this come together, and what information can you give on Vertec? Are they launching soon? I know
Yeah,
MP
for
is
sure.
not
We
here,
can.
but
Yeah, we actually got Madrid down there in the chat, who's actually also a part of the team on Vertec there. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, they're just in the process of like relaunching and getting everything all started and prepped up and getting their liquidity driver event organized. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff going in on the back end there. But basically, the way that we got connected is we've been good friends with NP, the three of us, for some time now, and he kind of popped up an idea in our heads for kind of like a structure for a basic project, and we kind of took that and built on top of it to kind of design out this whole mechanism and system that we have, which is now collective finance. And so he's obviously with Vertec, and it works out great because with collective finance and what we're trying to offer, by partnering and working with Vertec, it allows us to fully achieve all of our goals and really be successful in what we want to do.
okay, very cool. Let's jump into collective finance then. What would be the elevator pitch if we're looking at it from a bird's eye view?
Yes, I'll chime in real quick. I think the bird's eye, or the quick elevator pitch, as you said, is collective finance. We're a decentralized protocol on BSC, and really we're designed to provide secure, ongoing, safe, multi-layer yield opportunities to our participants through the use of our asset-backed tokenized commodity representations, as well as our CLF and what I'm going to call XCLF liquid lock staking program. So really, we have two core components in ways that participants are rewarded and earn yield.
All right, yeah, I gotta admit, when I first came to your website, I was pretty confused because I haven't really seen anything like this with commodities, and I normally just do DeFi crypto stuff. So like earning from gold, I'm interested to learn more how that's done. I Unfortunately, you can't share screens on the AMA stage, but I am pulling up the pitch deck. I found that to be a pretty informative place to go. So if anybody wants to follow along, I'm going to kind of go through that. We also have the infographics, which they put in the question chat, which really helped to break things down as well. But starting at the top of the pitch deck, kind of working down, um, can we get more into just like where do you start in this ecosystem? Like how do we get involved? And then like maybe go into the CLF token.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe real quick, I could comment just on sort of why, you said it was confusing, Jake, just a little of our thought process, because it is a different type of DeFi protocol. And then maybe Chrome can walk us through sort of the ecosystem. As an investor in the past, and particularly somebody who's been interested in commodities, there's some problems that make them from an availability standpoint, and in particular from a standpoint of being able to earn yield. Traditionally, commodities, whether they're precious metals, oil, whatever it may be, to acquire them is a difficult and often not quick process, and then to earn reliable and consistent yield on them is almost impossible. We felt with the design that we had with collective finance that we could really solve this problem or help bring a solution to that problem. And when you look at the potential markets, even just take something like gold alone, which is about an 11 or 12 trillion dollar market cap, and how much of that is on chain. So there's really just a tremendous room for growth in that area, and we feel that we have a unique way to provide that exposure on chain. So just to throw that out there. Maybe Chrome, if you don't mind, you could sort of walk us through the ecosystem and how things work.
Absolutely, yeah. So, beginning off, one of our main sellers is obviously the over collateralized assets, and those what are going to be what we call the C tokens. So, all C tokens will be fully backed and over collateralized, meaning that the value of assets backing them is always going to be greater than what's available on chain to trade. So those will be basically, a way that users can just acquire and hold these commodity representations, first starting with gold. And then, you can, there's ways to earn yield on that by creating LP, staking it on the DEX, the Vertex DEX. And yeah, so that's basically the C tokens and the commodities in a nutshell. Moving on, we have kind of the backbone of the ecosystem, which is the CLF token. And that's our native token for the protocol, as well as the reward style governance token. So with this, to participate in the ecosystem and fully unlock all the potential and all the rewards, you're going to want to create LP, stake it on the Vertex DEX, and you'll receive a receipt token from that. You can then take that receipt token and stake it and lock it on the CLF platform, the collective finance platform, in our D app. And you can choose 4 different tiers. I think we're doing 30, 60, 90, and 180 day. And then by locking in those, you can start to earn rewards from the 3 different core revenue streams and mechanisms of the project, which is the vault, treasury, and portfolio. And so those will be generating revenue to the lockers and holders of XCLF. So when you participate and lock in the ecosystem, you get XCLF, which will allow you to vote and guide the direction of the protocol and future decisions, as well as earn yield in more CLF tokens, stable coins, and C tokens. So by participating in the ecosystem, you'll be able to basically earn stables and gold and all the other commodities that we eventually come out with.
Okay, to try to summarize and just kind of make sure that I got the grasp of what you're saying. When you buy in the pre-sale, what we're first buying is the CLF tokens, correct? And then from there you stake it, or you stake it paired with BUSD. Do you have to pair it yourself, or how does that work?
Yeah. So we'll probably, I imagine we'll have some zapping functions and stuff. I don't know if they'll be available right away, but it's something we'll look into to have some more automation. But yeah, so if you're participating in the pre-sale or the angel round, you're going to be receiving CLF tokens as well as XCLF, so already locked stuff. So with the pre-sale, you'll be getting your vested tokens in CLF, and then from there you will be creating LP and then staking it on the Vertex DEX. And then after you stake it, you're starting to earn yield in the emissions from the DEX, as well as the trading fees and everything. So then you get a receipt token after you stake it on that DEX. And then you can take that receipt token to then lock it within collective finance to unlock even more yield. And that's with the stable coins and the C tokens.
Okay. So if I bought $1,000 worth of CLF, I would have to get 1,000 BUSD to pair it and then stake it.
So I think we're
not
still
necessarily. Yeah,
Go ahead,
real quick, let me just I'll hop in here. So not necessarily at all, and this is one of the keys to the Vertex DEX and being a balancer style in V2, is that traditional 50-50 liquidity requirement is not applicable, and we have a lot of flexibility there. We're actually looking into our pre-sale into something pretty novel. And rather than giving back just CLF tokens, we're able to give participants back liquidity positions already, which then would enable them to immediately stake for rewards, to then liquid lock stake in our XCLF program, or potentially break that pair if they wanted to sell. But we, again, with the Vertex technology and what's available, we're going to be able to get pretty creative and non-traditional with regard to the pre-sale and then the token distribution to participants.
Yeah, and on that, the weight of the pools actually, so like the ratio of our pair is most likely going to be in a 70-30 split, meaning it'll be 70% the CLF token and 30% stable. So if you had $1,000 worth of fresh CLF and you wanted to pair fresh LP, you would only need $300 worth of stables to then make a full position with that 1,000 CLF tokens.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then where does the C token come in?
So the C token is So that's coming from basically the angel round, as well as part of the pre-sale round and everything, as well as rewards from the portfolio and different things like that to then bolster the growth and everything. Doc, do you want to?
So the C token, yeah, absolutely. To add on top of that, really what you look at, the C token in particular, it's the one revenue stream of our portfolio, the vault. So collective finance will initially provide a large liquidity position of C gold and BUSD, which will then be able to be actively traded upon. And then when that is, let's just say, minted, that's always going to be controlled in that over collateralized fashion, as Chrome said, and that will be completely transparent for all participants to see. We've already acquired our first 25K worth of PAX G. Now, where that comes into play with regard to collective finance is that by acquiring XCLF, participants are able to earn those tokens. So earn with the equivalent of gold or diamonds or silver, right? And then from that point, participants have a number of ways that they can either increase their participation in the ecosystem or cash out because of this trifecta of rewards. So when you look at the C tokens, that's really largely a revenue stream and what we're trying to put into circulation so that participants can have that exposure.
Okay. Yeah, can you explain for someone who doesn't know at all, like how does this over collateralized work? Like how did can you explain like PAX G and like how you are using that to collateralize your tokens? It's a hard word to say.
Yeah, Doc, give a rundown of PAX G and why we love it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really a key point here that we're using gold to collateralize gold, so apples to apples, which is really, really important. So PAX-G in particular, we think is the best exposure or safest exposure to gold as a commodity on chain. It's really only traded largely on Ethereum. PAX-G is backed by actual gold, which is held in the vault. I believe it's London. And it can actually be traded in return for that gold. And you can buy and mint new PAX-G tokens directly through Paxos, which is the same organization behind BUSD. One of the problems with PAX-G is that it's really not available. There's not a lot of exposure outside of Ethereum. There's not a lot on Binance at all. It's got a high entry point because it's equal to an ounce of gold. And there's really, again, nowhere reliable to earn yield. So we are using PAX-G as our collateralization for our C tokens. And what that means, and when we say it will be over collateralized by 5 to 10%, what that means is imagine we have 10 PAX-G on the Ethereum chain. That means that 9 PAX-G worth of C gold can be created on Binance. So thus the actual backing in gold for our C gold tokens is present, and it's at plus 10%. So that's the key, and that's the relationship. We have a pretty good infographic posted in there that walks through it pretty well. Jake, does that explain, do you think, the relationship, the over collateralization relationship?
Yeah, I've just pulled up the infographic actually, and it does break it down pretty well. Like the part where it shows for every one PAX G, we will create 28 C gold tokens on BSC, which will equal 1 gram representations. Then the remaining 3 grams is not minting, leaving 10% for over collateralization. So yeah, it makes sense that you're gonna leave some over on the Ethereum network so that you have more than enough to pay out the C gold token.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. And then when a request is made to liquidate the holdings, C gold will be burnt on the BSC side.
So yeah, that's all. Basically, everything is handled through like governance essentially, and it will never be we'll never be allowed to mint more gold than there is PAX-G. And if we need to burn gold, then we can then burn C gold tokens on the BSC side to liquidate part of the holdings on the Ethereum side to then make sure it meets up with the collateralization and stuff.
But
Okay, perfect.
I want to add to that too, because I think it's important to know that here in the future, all that stuff's going to be automated. So to where we don't have to manually make any transactions, it'll all be on an audited contract, you know.
Yeah, so one of the end goals is to basically have everything completely decentralized and totally ran by smart contracts. And so the nice thing with Balancer and everything like that, and how we can have some of these contracts set up, is that we can have basically total automation in that we don't have to do anything, and the contract will only allow a certain percentage of C gold to be available, and it can mint and burn itself if needed.
Okay, cool. How about let's go into the revenue streams. We got 3 different areas that bring in revenue for the protocol, and this helps reward people that stake. So we got the vault, treasury, and the portfolio. Do you want to just kind of break down those 3 different areas?
Yeah, for sure. It's relatively straightforward on I'd say 2 out of the 3. So the treasury is really similar to traditional treasuries that you would find with other decentralized finance protocols. So really, it's going to be the protocol bank. It's going to receive emissions. It's going to be the owner of protocol-owned liquidity, which a portion of them which will be turned into XCLF and then receive rewards. The second portion is the portfolio, and this is a collection of on-chain assets that are going to be mobilized in a number of different fashions in order to provide yield and return. This may be anything from traditional yield farming and mining to liquid staking to bot trading to certain altcoin participation. And this will provide another source of revenue, and that will be the stablecoin revenue for our XCLF holders. And then the final portion of that is our vault. We feel like the vault is one of the most important components because that's what's going to house the C tokens, so of which the first one will be C gold. That will hold that liquidity. Again, it will earn rewards from that position. It also earns rewards and revenue through the trading fees on those positions. Ultimately, all 3, the treasury, the portfolio, and the vault, are designed to do 2 things, I would say, in particular. Number 1, primarily, be to return yield and reward to participants. And then number 2, to also provide intrinsic and ongoing growth within the 3 of those. So if you read the white paper and you see how rewards are sort of reinvested or rolled back into the portfolio, it ensures that those are always perpetually growing in nature. So that locks in the yield and rewards for participants and also the long-term growth for the protocol.
Okay, so a couple questions on that. Do you have like an established trading bot that you are running, and do you have like estimates on what kind of yield you can get through these different revenue sources?
Yeah,
I'd like
so yeah, you can go ahead, Crip.
I'd like to touch on that. Yeah, we have been using these bots by a protocol that has been around for a little while now. They opened up their strategies, I could say, for investments to the public, and they've done very well. We can't talk about any earned yield on them because nothing's guaranteed. So, if anybody's interested, we can, dive more into that on how they can access, that protocol. But we will have our own bot for CLF that's going to be specific to us. So we won't be under any umbrella. It'll be our very own bot. Is there anything else? Do you have any questions about that?
Yeah. So it's earning for the CLF token, or it's trading the CLF token? What do you mean? It's on
It's
your
going to be earning. It's going
collective
to be earning for the portfolio, actually. So the bots will work with the funding, with the capital that is within the portfolio, a portion of it. And I think what Cripsom was saying, in other words, is that this is the bot program that we have set up for the portfolio is specifically designed for collective finance, and we're managing it through one of our collaborative partners. This part will be transparent within the dashboard as well. I don't know if every single bot trade will be able to be shown. With regard to the percentage that's going to return, I don't think any of us, Jake, would feel comfortable giving a percentage that somebody could lock into. It's also important to remember about the bots in our portfolio. That's only going to be one portion of the revenue earning stream. So it's not, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? Just like any other investor.
Yeah, it's not.
You don't think you could just give like an average on what it's made for like however long it's been around, or I mean how long has it been around?
It's been around for like a few months now, but it's totally variable. It just depends, because what the bots are, they're basically, doing different leverage trades and different strategies and stuff. So sometimes they'll be active for a couple days, like in trades for multiple days, sometimes a week and stuff like that. But we have seen some like months where it could be upwards of like 20%. But again, this is all totally variable.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, and I'm with you. I don't like when people promise any certain percentages, but I like when they're variable and it's realistic. It's not like paying 2% a day, because a lot of people have a lot of PTSD from stuff that claims that stuff. So I appreciate
sure.
that.
I can tell you this, Jake, we
it.
can give you probably sorry to cut you off. I think probably maybe a reasonable estimate over, I think it was about 50 days. The return on the bots was just over 30%, I think, in that range, 30 or 33% or so so that's really an average that if the numbers that are out there. I think, like Chrome said, we don't look at it just that sort of one macro number more than anything else. And that's why we're not promising specific returns on this. Collective finance isn't built around bots. It's really important that people know that, right? That is just one of the strategies within the portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Portfolio.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. And then the other revenue source is just mainly yield farming.
Yeah, trading fees and yield farming. When people are going to be trading C tokens and everything, we'll be earning yield every single time somebody trades a C token, as well as our other tokens as well. And then on top of that will be like the yield farming and different revenue streams like that for like farming rewards and stables and different platforms.
Okay, very cool. How about, is there any part of the protocol that we missed so far, or else we can get into the seed round and pre-sale information?
Maybe the NFTs. It's probably worth talking about the NFTs a little bit. We were talking about the revenue streams, and that's going to be an important part of what we're doing. Again, with the DEX, with Vertec, they're going to have an NFT marketplace that's going to be available very soon. So we think that's going to provide great exposure for our NFTs. So far, we have 2 NFTs that we're going to be releasing. They both have a significant amount of utility and provide rewards. We can even try to post them in the chat maybe. The first one's going to be the Angel Round NFT. That's going to be pretty darn exclusive, I would say, and its rewards are probably going to be the most robust out of any of the NFTs that Collective Finance will put out. The pre-sale NFT, then, what we're going to have is going to be unique, because we're going to call that our C Gold NFT. And that will be the first of our C token themed NFTs that is going to provide rewards and yield not only in the CLF token, but also in the C Gold token. so that those NFTs will have intrinsic and ongoing value as well. And then we'll be dropping additional NFTs in the future. So, for example, if we come out when we come out with Sea Silver, Sea Diamond, we'll have the corresponding NFT with its rewards to go with that. So there's another pretty good infographic that we have that really shows the different rewards breakdown for the NFTs, but that's an important part of our ecosystem.
Okay, yeah, I got the NFTs pulled up now, and it's for the Angel NFT. That's the only one you could currently acquire until the presale goes live, and then you just have to spend $5,000 to get this NFT.
Yeah, so basically, go ahead, Crip.
I said it's part of the investment. So you spend, you invest $5,000 into the angel round, and then for every 5,000 pledge to get an angel NFT. So it's not that you're actually buying the NFT. I want to make sure that that's clear. It's that you're paying 5,000 for this NFT. It's that you're getting the NFT for your 5,000 pledge towards your angel investment that you're actually receiving other, tokens for. So it's more or less a bonus for entering the angel round.
Exactly, yeah. So right now we're in the angel round, and we'll be moving to pre-sale, I think, within the next few weeks. We do have a timer up on our website, but it is a little bit inaccurate, so we do need to update that. But yeah, so the only way to acquire an angel NFT is by entering the angel round with $5,000 or more. And this is going to be the only time that you can acquire those unless the angels decide to sell them on the marketplace on Vertec.
Yep, and then the pre-sale NFT will be available. That's the Sea Gold NFT. That will be available to pre-sale participants who participate and get in at, I think, the $1,000 price point. So for every $1,000, you'll receive one of those pre-sale NFTs.
Okay, and then when you have the NFT, like the Angel NFT, how do you guarantee that they get like better rewards, or how does that work?
Well, we guarantee it because it's set up that way, right? Whenever you look at sort of the distributions of rewards and where we're pulling things from. So, for example, one of the unique features of the Angel NFTs is they will be Angel NFTs will receive rewards from all of the Sea tokens moving forward. So not only Sea Gold when it comes out, but then whenever Sea Silver, Sea Diamond tokens. So those rewards, and it will be the only NFT that really gets those universal rewards as well. The NFT also is going to have linked. We have a special unlock of a small portion of the Sea Gold BUSD liquidity after 60 days, for which the angels will be able to get a small portion of that through the NFT. Right. And then, as Cripsom said, it's important to know with the angel round that the NFT is only one portion. It's the bonus portion of the angel investment, I would say.
Okay, so how much would what are the prices for seed round compared to pre-sale compared to public sale? Is there any other information on the seed sale that we need to go over? They're vested.
Okay, when you say prices, Jake, do you mean like launch price or premium discount, that type of thing? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like how many tokens are you gonna get per BUSD?
Right. So it's
on
for
seed
the
sale?
angel and for the angel investment, it's based off of your capital invest, basically. So the higher your investment, the higher the premium you'll get. So it's going to be based off of a launch price premium, and then the pre-sale will actually just be like a set price. So for pre-sale, you'll be buying in. I think we're actually changing the launch price and pre-sale price just slightly, but. So for pre-sale, you'll be buying in at just like a 5 or 10% premium, while the angel round is going to be variable based on your investment.
Yeah, and pre-sale, I think it's not going to be $1,000 minimum to enter the pre-sale. That's just if you want to be eligible for the NFT. I'm sure our minimum for the pre-sale will be, in the $50 BUSD range or somewhere around there.
Okay. And the tokens are vested after launch?
When you say the tokens are vested, you're in reference to the angels or the pre-sale?
I'm looking at the angel right now.
Yeah, so the angel, whenever you look at it, it's basically three portions that you're going to get. So from the angel investment, you're going to essentially get back the CLF, XCLF, basically, which is going to be locked into one of the tiers. That's one portion of your return. Then there'll be a vesting of actual CLF tokens over a certain time period. Then there will be the portion of the C Gold BUSD liquidity position that will be liquidated and returned to the angels, and there'll be the angel NFT as well. One of the other things too, just to bring this up, that we're really doing that's unique with our angel program in collective finance. I've been a big angel. Cripsom has been as well. And one of the things that we feel angels are often really underutilized in protocols, and they're really a smart group of folks that have a lot of resources. So we've created something called the Angels Table, which really is going to function almost as you would say, a mild or a de facto board of directors or advisory board, that they're going to have a really large input with regard to how funds in the portfolio are used, how sort of bonus rewards are distributed, direction that we want to go in the future. So our angels are going to be active participants in the guidance and direction of collective finance.
Nice, very cool. So basically, we have a week or two for seed sale or angel round, and then it's a pre-sale. And then how long after pre-sale until you fully launch?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say most likely after pre-sale. I think we would be able to launch within a week or so. Don't
Yep.
hold me to that. We're actually really far along in the process. We did a lot of work on the back end here, but the CLF token, the code, the C tokens, the code, everything's really in place. So we're going to make sure the DEX gets off and runs like the Lamborghini that it is, and then we're going to be ready to rock and roll here too. So yeah, you said it, Jake. I think you can expect the pre-sale and sometime within probably around a few weeks.
Okay. And then where do the funds go after we get into the pre-sale? Is that going towards buying up the PAX G, or it's got multiple different places you're putting it?
Yeah, multiple different. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And it's sorry. And if these guys want to chime in, but you hit the nail on the head, Jake. It's going to be going to multiple different places. And when you think about the two main places it's going to be going, would be obviously to CLF BUSD liquidity, and then to the C Gold BUSD liquidity as well. Again, this may be a little alpha. I don't, what we're going to be trying to do, and with the technology on Vertec is, rather than the traditional in the pre-sale where you give participants back their initial, just the native token, we feel that we can potentially give that back as a liquidity position, and then that enables the participant really to do whatever they want at that moment with less steps, less gas fees, and really the whole thing at their fingertips. So we're working on making that happen.
Yeah, I'd say a good chunk of the funds deposited into the pre-sale will be used to create LP so that it can be held for POL in the treasury, and then a lot of it will be used to create the LP positions that will actually be going back to the investors and people who pledged in the pre-sale. And then anything else left over will just be distributed however us and the angels feel for the portfolio, increasing the PAX G holdings, marketing, etc.
Awesome. Well, I think that answers pretty much all of my questions. If there's anything else I left out that you're hoping that I asked, you can bring that up now if you'd like, or else I'm going to start going through the community questions.
I think that's pretty good, unless these other guys got anything else. But
No, fire away. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we got a good amount, so I'm going to try to read quickly. Revenue is a very important aspect. This is from Tom. For all projects to survive and maintain the project/company, what is the best way to generate profit/revenue of the token? What is the income model? You can try to answer that if you'd like.
Which token are you talking about?
it's not very it's a very general question.
Yeah. He also does talk a little bit about token burn after, which actually is something that we did kind of forget to mention. But with the way that CLF is structured, there will be like many use cases for users to be like burning the token to help increase the deflation of the supply.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
really
let's see.
cool.
I think I think we probably addressed some of the revenue questions when we talked about the revenue stream. If we didn't get that part of the question, then please just say so in the chat and we'll go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll try to see if any of these questions are like something we have already covered already. I might just skip over it, but I'll try to read through as many as possible. We have AB/123. What is the most ambitious goal of the project in the future? What is collective finance most important next priority according to their project roadmap? I guess we didn't really get into the roadmap too much. And is the team
Sure.
equipped with sufficient funds and community to meet the goal?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. We definitely have big plans and a lot of ambition for this project and for its future. I think one of the main things that we're really focusing on is growth. Basically, growing the portfolio as well as the vault and just like increasing the value of the C tokens as well as the portfolio, and then future expansion into further commodities as well as other networks, other chains, to bring the exposure elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to add to that, one of the other things we're doing outside of those sort of big picture things is creating additional use cases for CLF, for our native token, and we actually have a few of those already that we're not going to talk about right now, but that we will as we move forward too. So obviously we talked about it. Getting more C tokens, silver and diamonds are really the other two that we feel we can provide some great exposure to as well. So that's going to be on the top of our priority list.
Mm-hmm. I'd also like to add too, mass adoption is key in a project like this, especially with where we're headed. So we're going to have a really, really big marketing push during the pre-sale, leading up to it and during. And so, we're also have some incentives to bring some angels in. We're paying, a little bit of a premium if you guys, have some buddies that have, some capital they want to invest in an angel round while this is going on. So, yeah, I think mass adoption, I think, is key as well, where we're headed. So I think we're doing a good job headed there. We have, brought a good point up too about capital. Everything to this point has been paid by the founders, so from us, and that I feel like that says something about what we stand for. We're not just taking other people's money to build something; we used ours.
Nice. A couple side questions off of that. Do you have any like AMAs or big promotions that you have scheduled currently? And then my other question is, how is the seed sale going so far? I almost forgot it for a second.
So for some of the lined up stuff, we don't particularly have anything like exactly like we do have a couple of things locked in, but we're generally like creating a big list and everything and starting to line up like a whole bunch of different things, videos, like promotional things, and talking to a bunch of different projects, stuff like that. So a lot of stuff is in the works to basically get it entirely prepped up and ready to go.
We do
I
have.
think doing us
Doc.
justice here too in what we have lined up. I mean, when you look at sort of whether it's different servers, AMAs, YouTube, the different social media platforms, we're actually discussing working with some direct marketing and advertising agencies. So we're really on the precipice of getting ready to try to take this as aggressively as we can to push it out there. The last step, we were just waiting for the decks to go live. So I think we're about ready to push the button on that.
Yeah,
Exciting.
and then I also want to talk about a little bit. You brought up a point about where we're at in the angel round, and investments. Yes, we have taken in some angel investments. I'm not going to talk about exactly how much capital, but along with Doc, I've been working really hard on off-chain capital investments. Sorry, jumbled my words. Sorry, off-chain capital investments, and I've got some VC guys in real life that I've met through business over the years, and we're working on those as well. So that's stuff that would be, it's going to go towards, having a nice backing in the sea gold. So things are looking good on that front. I just can't touch too much on numbers.
Yeah, we can actually announce, though, that we do have 13 Pax G already acquired sitting in our vault on Ethereum, which is viewable to anybody. We have all the addresses posted and everything like that. So you can go view yourself and see that the vault in Ethereum already does have 13 Pax G sitting in there waiting to go.
Yeah, I saw that. Very cool. Nice first step forward.
Thanks.
Yeah. Zek Sama has 2 questions, and I'm pretty sure he emojied his own question to make it stand out. What steps are you taking in order to engage more and more community in your project, especially during this bear market? And question 2 is partnership is very important for any projects. Please, can you tell us about your partners?
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, we just did talk about that a little bit. We do have lots of stuff lined up and planned, and we're getting ready to, start pulling the trigger on a lot of things. And we do have lots of close friends already that we're working with, as well as some potential partners and, leaders in the space that we are working with right now. So there are some things coming out, and obviously the main one being with Vertec, the balancer style V2 decks with, it's going to have perpetuals and NFT marketplace, built-in bridge. There's going to be a whole bunch there, and we're going to be working heavily with them to really like boost each other's growth and grow together.
And we'll have a core pool there as well. So there's something unique to this protocol as well. I don't usually talk a lot about it, but within our team here at Collective, we over the last little bit have acquired a decent amount of governance over there on the Vertec decks. So we will be using that as we need and to boost our pools over there. So people can look forward to that.
That's a great point. Maybe to expand on that, if people don't know sort of exactly what we're talking about, when you look at Vertec and the Volta, that is what it's called. It's really a voting and a governance system, and what you are able to do is direct emissions. I believe it's up to 35% of the weekly emissions through voting gauges, and we just through our commitment and our involvement with the other communities. We are in a really strong position to help direct some of that voting. And as being a core pool on Vertec, we both the CLF BUSD as well as the Sea Gold BUSD will be eligible for those boosted emissions, which can be a pretty appealing thing.
Yeah, never a bad thing to have a DEX on your side. Yeah. And it seems like Vertec has been popping up a few different places, and they're starting their own partnerships. So it's building community.
Yeah.
Very cool. I think Henlo, I feel like we covered his question already, so I'm sorry, but I'm probably gonna skip that one. Henny Penny 59 says, how long does your project already exist? What experience and knowledge in this market bring your team members? Probably skip this question.
I like how you read that.
Scam Bank Fries says, currently attracting real users and mass adoption is a problem for blockchain projects. So how will Collective Finance solve this problem? I might have to sift through some of these questions. Um, I'm gonna go to Gem 1989. What are the security measures that have been made so far to make the platform secure from hackers, as hackers are nowadays getting stronger to steal? I like how he says the hackers are getting stronger. Recently, we faced many rugs, sadly, so my question is there possibilities whales draining? I know we didn't really get into your security at all, so is there anything you want to touch on there?
I can quickly say for, overall, I guess like website security, we're definitely going to be full in on that to ensure the protection of users and, make sure that, we can't have any malicious stuff happen on our front end and everything like that. We're all about safety, protecting people's investments, and we want to provide like a totally safe user experience and have everything as best as we possibly can with Collective. But yeah, I can let Doc and Crip also come in here to talk, how are we going to bring some of that and go over KYC docs, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll touch real quick and then I'll let you take over, Doc. But yes, we will be, me and Doc have doxed. I've doxed in some other servers. I will be doxing frequently in the podcast, which we're currently getting ready to put up here shortly in the next few days. So yes, as far as doxing goes, you'll see that very shortly if you haven't already. KYCs are in process. We're setting all that up right now. And Doc has already been KYC'd and doxed, so he can explain his end.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, myself and NP, we have already gone through the KYC process. I may do it again, depending, just because sometimes it seems to make people feel better. So all of that will be very clear for everybody to see. From the doxing standpoint, as Crip said, him and I recorded our first video podcast last night. That will be up for everybody to see. Jake will tell you I doxed with him the first time we ever met. In my physician career, I've been exposed to the internet, the media, a lot of that stuff already. So I'm completely comfortable. So from the KYC doxing, that will be about as easy and transparent as could be. We have been around our communities for a long, long time, all of us as well. So you can ask plenty of the folks, but we'll make sure all those boxes are checked, those I's dotted, T's crossed. And then from the technical standpoint, yeah, that's going to be the utmost. The DEX being so complicated actually provides some intrinsic security in and of itself. But in particular, our gold and the PAX-G, we have some ways from a tech standpoint that we're looking to add some additional layers of security in there as well. And that will be all transparent for everybody to see too.
As well as audits will be definitely acquired and put out most likely like before full launch and everything. We do have some very reputable developers on our team. Some may know LB from Grape Finance. He is our lead advisor dev. He's going to be looking over all of our contracts, ensuring that they're safe and that they're good, that they're going to work and everything. So we definitely have some good people, as well as other developers who have been working on several different projects in this space, like a lot that people have probably participated in. And so, yeah, we have a very good team of devs. We're very confident, and we know that we don't need an audit because we trust them so much, but we are going to ensure that we do get an audit and everything like that to make sure that, everybody else can feel safe and comfortable. But yeah, we have the utmost, certainty that this will be very good, safe, and we're totally all about transparency and providing a good experience for users.
Yeah, very cool. Doc did dox himself to me, and that was really cool and just transparent. I appreciate that. He was wearing his doctor coat. I'm like, oh, of course. Either he's like really good at dressing up and playing the part, or he's legit. And I believe he's legit. So really cool. You guys are KYCing and auditing and everything. Yeah.
The other thing
Is the
too,
next-
just so everybody knows, as founders, we're not like off in the ivory tower doing something by ourselves. We're every day in the Discord servers, talking to people, participating in the other communities. So, and we're really easy to access all the time too. So we'll be around. We won't be leaders from afar. We'll be in the trenches.
Yeah, Nalaka wants to know, how do we trust you're not a scam project?
Well, that's pretty. I mean, like Chrome said too. We've brought together some very reputable devs and people in the space to build this thing out, and it's taken a lot of time. It's not like we just whipped this thing up in a month. I mean, we've been at it for quite a while, so we didn't even drop the idea of inviting anybody in the server until pretty much the full UI and everything was complete and ready, and contracts were starting to be built. Like, we're trying to be have way more progress up front instead of needing money to get these things done, we like we said, we fronted our own money to get these things done. And if our goal is fully decentralized, why would we? We have no plans of hurting anybody's wallets by any means.
Yeah, I
And
think
again,
it's
KYC, the doxing thing, all that. I mean, we're working with Obsidian. We're going to be trying. So all of these folks. So we're going to provide the best exposure to us as founders and the platform as possible. And I would encourage everybody, watch our videos. You're going to see us. You'll see our faces. You'll see us talking. You'll see us talking about sort of personal things. So we're not. It will be very apparent to everybody that we're not trying to hide anything.
yeah. I think it's good to note too that like all of us on the team as well, like as founders and stuff, we've all been through it in the DeFi space with rugs and scams and just losing money, things like that, just like bad actors, and we're totally sick of that. We're not about that. We've been through it and we're not about it. We're totally trying to be here for something legit and real, and we're definitely going to show that.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
So Guadam has kind of a comment / questions. He's got like pretty good questions, but we've covered most of it. But he says the yield from the project looks very lucrative. The white paper was very technical, but the infographics made it simple. Hats off for such nice infographics for better understanding. But till now, what I understood from the infographics is revenue stream from trading bots enough to provide such a great yield without a drop in price of the token? Or are there other revenue streams which I've missed?
I think something that Doc talks a lot about is like the intrinsic value of the different core mechanics, the vault, treasury, and portfolio. If you want to go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what Chrome is getting at here is really the underlying asset value that we're going to have within the protocol. And this goes off one of the other questions too about longevity as well as growth. When you look at the treasury, the portfolio, and the vault, and in particular the portfolio and the vault, the idea behind those are that there are stable and real assets there. So in the case of the vault, it's going to be the commodities, right? Gold, silver, diamonds. In the case of the portfolio, this will be real on-chain assets, whether this is stables, Bitcoin, ETH, BNB, whatever it may be. Then obviously we know what's going to be in the portfolio. The vault or the treasury, I'm sorry, the vault and the portfolio, by design, those assets are going to be increasing in value over time because we are going to be compounding to those. What that intrinsically applies is a floor value of what's backing the protocol, right? And you can often see in the equities of the stock world, things may trade at a discount or a premium to a net asset value. Collective finance is going to have a very large collection of these assets that are going to be continue to grow over time. What that does default is provide a floor to participants, in particular participants in the XCLF program, because they are privy to portions of the vault and the yield and the rewards that it produces. So it's really a pretty simple system when you look at it. And it's not going to provide, this isn't a crazy seniorage protocol. We're not trying to rebase at 900K%. What we're trying to do is provide ongoing and consistent yield with that growth there.
Awesome. Very cool. Harleen is asking, well, she's got like 4 questions, or she or he. Congratulations. What?
She.
Okay. You know this person?
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations on acquiring 13 packs G last week. Sea Gold is very exciting. If things go well, what other tokens can we expect? Maybe take this question by question.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to give a little shout out to Harleen too, because she's one of our OGs. We love Harleen. So thank you for the questions. I want to go down to the last one too with rising egg prices. Would you consider using a sea egg token? Yeah, it's crazy. Sea eggs and chicken wings, right? Well, those will be the two commodities. Right? But no, I think too. I'll take the first part of this. Obviously, what's coming out next. We talked about that the diamond token and the silver token. As fate may have it, we're sort of having an internal discussion about which one we want to come first and when. And there's it's not a super simple decision, to be honest with you. But that's our plan for the next two C tokens. Silver and diamonds.
And that might even be something that we pitch to the angels table.
Precisely, yeah.
Harleen, too, I wanted the second part of that question. This gets to a really good point. How exactly would you back other commodities that might not be present on the blockchain? This is, we get a lot of comparisons to some other protocols out there that provide synthetics exposure, right? And this goes back to what I said before about apples to apples or apples to oranges, right? So it's really important to remember that we're going to have apples to apples, gold to gold, silver to silver, diamonds to diamonds, right? Whenever you start having apples to oranges, dollars to gold, dollars to diamonds, dollars to oil, that's whenever things can get somewhat troublesome or complicated, at least in our team's opinion, right? So Harleen's question really comes down to the root of what we are trying to do, is that we want to be able to provide this type of real exposure to different commodities on chain. So I don't know if we're ever going to get the eggs or chickens or cannabis or whatever it may be, but all these things are going to be potentially on our radar to examine in the future.
Yeah, do cannabis.
We definitely, all of us on the team agree that'd be a cool one.
I'm actually a big medical marijuana physician, and that's one of my companies. So I'm a big medical cannabis believer.
I'm surprised there's not more cannabis crypto projects out there.
Yeah,
right. Two of the most rising things combined.
Yeah, the U.S. can't even decide if it's legal or not. So I mean,
that's true.
That's
All right. Crypto Brazil is asking, many projects have problems with the UI, and this one turns off new users. How do you plan to improve the interaction with new users and with users outside the crypto space? So it sounds like they don't like your UI very much.
So yeah, this is actually something I'll actually pop a little bit of alpha because we are in the progress of like building out the D app and everything for like the core UI UX for our D app. So we do have our landing page up, which is just like, a 1-page landing page, go through, see what we're offering and stuff. But let me see if I can get these up here. This will be our D app. And so we are planning to have everything, in like a dashboard set up. Actually, for some reason, my phone isn't allowing me to do this quite properly. 1 second. But yeah, basically, we plan on having a nice little dashboard set up so that people can kind of overview and see how the different aspects of the protocol are doing, like with the Vault, Treasury, and Portfolio. You can see those assets, how they're performing over time, stuff like that, as well as, just a smooth, clean experience for the liquid staking, allowing users to go in and view exactly, what positions they're locked in and how much, what they're earning, everything like that. So we definitely are going to strive to have a very clean, very simple, nice UI and UX within our D app so that it's, very user friendly.
Nice. Yeah, I think that new one looks a lot better. It's way more clean and organized. So cool.
Sure.
His second part is, almost every investor holds the token for short term without understanding the long-term value. So how can you ensure for us that holding this token is more beneficial for long term, and what is your plan to increase the demand and scarcity of the token?
I would say, in short, really, that's the whole idea and design behind our, I'll call it like liquid lock staking with the XCLF, right? Those, the participants who lock and commit are going to be rewarded the most. So again, it goes back to the yield and rewards and growth.
Also, something as well for the CLF token, we plan to have many different use cases, many different places that you can utilize CLF. whether it be gamification, paying. Like, we plan to have basically a small tax system within the CLF ecosystem. So when participating in Collective, you'll have to burn and like use a little bit of CLF token to complete the transaction. So to like actually claim your rewards, you'll have to pay like an extremely small fee just in CLF tokens, and those tokens will be mostly burned and some sent to the treasury. So try and have an ecosystem that has a lot of where almost every transaction just has a little bit of CLF tax, just to give it that little bit of extra incentive to always keep some for burning and being able to use elsewhere.
Nice. I'm gonna skip down to Goal Kane. Their question is: a good project always has a competition and duplication of ideas. What does collective finance think about this issue? What is the long-term vision of collective finance in the blockchain market to keep up with trends with technology, community, and related issues? So, I mean, the second part of that question is pretty general, but
I,
have you thought
I,
about people duplicating your idea?
yeah, I'd say it's only an issue if you let it be an issue, right? Because I mean, we are in decentralized finance, right? I mean, open source code is the thing here. So you're going to see duplications. You see it all over the time, just like forks. You see forks all over the place, and they are successful because they offer different utilities within the forks, or they have maybe a spin-off. But here we're offering something that's very unique and pioneering something that's unique, and we already have kind of the edge on what we're going to do in the future. Mass adoption is obviously very important part of that, but other the team members are involved in some other things as well with other projects that we plan on potentially integrating in the future, and we can't talk about that too much, but we do have plans.
Yeah,
I would
I think
add on
too.
real quick that we expect folks to sort
Yep.
of copy this, right? And it might not be a bad thing, because it could potentially be different commodities, or maybe it's different ideas than we had. So I don't necessarily think that competition will be a bad thing at all. We actually hope that people take this idea and are like, oh, maybe we could do it with A, B, or C, something a little different, right? And then the second thing, anybody can copy us if they want, but they better be really good friends with somebody who's got a badass DEX like Vertec that can do all the things that we needed to do for our protocol to work, right? So that's really our relationship with Vertec, and the way Vertec is designed is key for collective finance to be able to function at its optimum.
Yeah, I think Doc said it exactly. Like, I honestly, we'd be like happy, we'd be thrilled to see people fork or try to, do something a little bit different, but with our idea, I think it'd be awesome. Try and, I guess, set the standard.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's cool when projects are copied, when like the next project creates like more innovation out of it, like they learn from them,
Yep.
maybe some of the mistakes they had and then grew upon that. But then there's a lot of forks that like just straight up copy the code and then they launch it without like you said, having the resources, having the DEX partnership, and then they don't do as well. And then that's when people lose money on those projects. So yeah,
Yep.
I'd say just stick with the original is always a good bet.
Yeah, I think it's a lot different too, because with this type of project, it's not as easy as just forking the code, redeploying, and like launching a token, things like that. There's a lot that goes like into the back end, like with the over collateralization and working with the DEX and like the multi-layered yield. There's like a lot of different things that go into it. So it's not as easy as, back in the days of the DAO days and seniorage days, where it was just like, protocol A, B, and C popping up in week one, and then D, E, and F, like all popping in the next. It's like just constantly forks. I don't think that's very doable with what we're doing here. So it takes a lot more effort.
And this
Yeah.
new DEX is V2 technology, not V1. It's V2, so it's completely different technology, added functionality, a lot more capabilities in the V2 tech.
Wow, what does that mean? You want to break that down a little more?
Oh,
It's the balancer style, basically, right? So the balancer V2. Sorry, Crip, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think it adds new features, right? It's like getting the 2024 model of the of your car. I think
That's a
there's
good way to
this
say it, Doc. It's basically like, Balancer V1 was a incredibly good idea, and there's so much to it. But Balancer V2 is just taking that with a bunch of upgrades and more resourced code and everything. Everything is more defined and it's a lot better. There's more utility, things like that. So exactly as Doc said, it's like upgrading to the brand new 2024 fucking Lambo, basically.
And this actually, it's perfect for Jan's question. I'm really glad that this is the next one up there because it literally leads right into that what we're asking there, if that makes sense. So, can we hop into that one, Jake?
Yeah, I can read that one. This is the last question. He kind of came in just now with this question, but what are the pool ratios going to be for CLF and future C tokens when launched on Vertex? I'm assuming CLF will have a custom X to X ratio since staking uses Vertex APTs while C tokens maintain a 1-to-1 normal LP pool ratio since the goal is mass adoption, and a non 1-to-1 would limit expansion to only balancer type dexes. Yeah, I couldn't follow that, but I'm sure you did.
This is probably my favorite question so far. This gets one of my votes. But well, let me say sort of the last part for the CLF staking time locks versus weight based. It's going to be time lock tiers. I think Monkey may have posted one of the infographics that have those different tiers laid out: 30, 60, 90, 180 days, and then the rewards broken down concurrently through those different groups. So the middle part of this. So this is, again, it goes back to just what we were talking about in this V2 technology and what we can do. So Jan's, the CLF BUSD pool is going to be 70-30, 70 CLF, 30% BUSD. Now you would think, and then traditionally for the C Gold BUSD, that it would need to be 1-to-1, just like you said, in order to maintain that price ratio and not have any significant and permanent loss. This is where things get absolutely beautiful, in my opinion, because with the way the balancer dex is styled, we could have, let's say, an 80-20, where it's 80% C Gold and 20% BUSD, but we can still maintain that exact pegged price to gold that we want without participants suffering any significant IL on there, right? And that's really just because of the technology. I wish NP was here. He could definitely explain it better than me. And I'm sure he some point, but to answer your question, Jans, we're pretty sure it's not going to have to be that 1-to-1 ratio, which again will be very beneficial to CFI and the participants.
And on that too, actually, so him saying it's limiting to balancer dexes. So in a sense, yes, for the beginning phases, we really want to limit where these C tokens can be traded because we are going to be the issuers, the owners, and we want to have a majority of that POL position and staking on the DEX, earning rewards, as well as bringing the mass adoption for the C tokens, the commodities, things like that, to Vertex itself. And so we do have stuff implemented that actually should allow us to mitigate users being able to create LP on a new DEX and start to trade on like a new DEX with lower fees, anything like that. We have some stuff in place set up, and with the balancer, it's really cool that we can have all of this set up like that. So as Doc said, yeah, we want to go for majority weight into C Gold so that when people are participating, that they're gaining most exposure into the commodity itself. So with the 80-20 pool, you're getting mostly the commodity exposure. You can, go off the pumps and the dumps, different things like that, as well as because of balancer being the rebalancing and everything. It's very automated pools, and so it'll automatically do a lot of fun stuff for your position for yourself. So yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. That was all the questions I had and the community had, so I appreciate you answering them all to the best of your ability. I feel like we all hopefully have a better grasp on what you guys are trying to accomplish here, and it's totally something that we haven't really seen before. And I think it could be very lucrative, like who said that, Guadam? So yeah, I'm gonna end the recording here, but the last thing we have is just to pick the winners of the BUSD. So how about you guys choose your two favorite? I have a couple I like, but I'll let you guys do the honors.
I'll go first, and everybody know this is completely biased, but my vote is for Harleen and the egg question, and Jan's with those questions.
All right, should we just go with those two then? I feel like those are good questions.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
I would say
think
so.
think we can agree. Yeah.
So Jans and Harleen. Gotcha. So you two, that one, you just reach out to me in the Discord. You can DM me. I will send you your funds over. And I appreciate everybody else who gave questions. You can always win next time. There's always more of these things going on all the time. So yeah, hopefully we all gathered information out of this. This is the biggest reward is just information. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Looking forward to talking to you again. Maybe when pre-sale goes live or whatever, we can come back together. But yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much for hosting us. It was definitely awesome, and definitely thank you to everybody in the audience and for everybody that asked questions. Appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Jake, for hosting us, and yeah, everybody, the great questions. And we're going to be doing a lot more of these giveaways with a lot of different stuff. We're really just getting started. So stick around, join our server, and there'll be plenty more.
Yeah, and I would just say we are very giving team. So we like to reward the community, and we love the community. So thank you everybody for being here with us.
yeah, we appreciate that a lot. And if we need to have any more questions, we could put or find you guys in your Discord group, or yeah, is that the best place to find you?
Yeah, we're on pretty much mostly all platforms. I just started opening up a Telegram group. I'm gonna start linking that up. But yeah, definitely, we're active on Twitter, Discord. You can even email us. I'm always checking the email. So yeah, pretty much everything.
All right, very cool. Well, thanks, guys. Hope that you have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, you too.
Jake.
All right,
So,
take care.
bye, everybody. Take care.
Cheers, guys.